Hey guys, so I am back again today with another cook with me segment. Today I am actually going to make my creamy buttery garlic chicken pasta. So yeah, I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna show you a couple of the few basic ingredients that you're gonna need, and then we're gonna get cooking. Okay guys, so in here I have two boneless skinless chicken breasts that I chopped up. Here I have a mixture of seasonings. I have some salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, oregano, dried basil, dried parsley. So it's basically a mixture of Italian seasonings that I mixed up myself. I only have about a teaspoon to a half a teaspoon of each. The way that I cook is really to taste. I don't really measure anything. I would say that in here I put about a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, and then a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of everything else. All again, just depending on what you prefer. And then in here I have 6 small cloves of garlic, or you can do 3 to 4 large cloves. And then in here I have 1 small shallot. There's also a couple of other things that you're gonna need. Of course, you're gonna need your butter, you're going to need milk, you're gonna need flour, and you're also going to need whatever veggies you want to put in. I usually put in spinach and broccoli, but I'll show you those as we move forward. So I'm gonna get seasoning. So I started off with about half of this seasoning on the chicken. I'm gonna get that stirred together, and I'm gonna let the chicken sit with the seasoning for a little while I get the pan nice and hot. I'm just gonna put about a tablespoon of olive oil in the pan, and then I'm gonna throw the chicken in there and I'll show you what that looks like. So I just wanted to show you guys really quickly to get the seasoning around the chicken a little bit easier. I put about a teaspoon of olive oil in here. So in your pan, you can lower it down to about a teaspoon in the pan, or you can still leave it a tablespoon, especially if you're using just regular olive oil. So I forgot to let you guys know that I chopped up the chicken breast really small. You don't have to do that. I mean, you can slice it up as big or as little as you want. So I'm gonna let this chicken get nice and brown all the way around. And once it's nice and brown, I will show you what that looks like and then tell you what the next step is. Okay guys, so I must admit mine took a little long to get some color on it because I have a very bad habit of pan crowding. So make sure you don't crowd your pan so it doesn't take as long for you to get some good color on your chicken. I also forgot to mention that I do have a pot back here coming to a boil for my pasta. I've lowered my heat down to about medium to medium low. Because my pan is so hot, when I put my shallots in there, I don't want them to burn like instantly. So I'm just going to make a little wedge there. Now that my chicken is nice and brown, and I'm gonna pop my shallots in. Cooking is not easy with one hand, you guys. I should probably try to figure out a way to get my camera stand going. It would just take longer, and I am not a patient person, you guys, so just bear with me. So I put my shallots in there, and I'm gonna let my shallots cook down and get nice and translucent. So I'm gonna let this cook down, and then I'm gonna come back and show you guys what's next. Okay guys, so basically what I did next after the shallots became translucent and everything was delicious in the pan, I took about a tablespoon of butter and I put it, I did the same thing that I did with the shallots, and I made sort of a hole in the middle, and I put the butter in there. Once the butter started to melt, I went ahead and threw in my 6 cloves of garlic, and I sauteed them for about 30 seconds, and then I turned off the heat. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually going to take everything out of the pan. I'm gonna put it in a bowl and set it to the side, and I'm gonna start my roux for my sauce in this same pan. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with what a roux is, this is basically what it looks like. It's butter and flour mixed together, and it creates a thickener, and you just kind of whisk that butter as it's melting together with the flour. I did 2 tablespoons of butter to 2 tablespoons of flour. And I'm just gonna let that cook down just till that flour taste is gone. Okay, so into my roux that I made, I poured in 1 cup of milk and 1 cup of chicken stock. You can use all milk if you want to for this recipe. I just like to cut it with the chicken stock because I feel like the milk just makes it a little bit too heavy and a little bit too mac and cheese like. Also, my husband is a little bit sensitive to dairy, so I try not to use that much milk. I'm gonna let this come up to a boil, then put it down to a simmer and let it simmer for a couple of minutes until the mixture gets nice and thick. So the cream sauce got nice and thick. So I put like a little pinch of nutmeg in there. I only had the ground stuff. If you have the fresh stuff, please use the fresh stuff. It's way better. I'm also going to put, my water's boiling, so I'm going to put my pasta in there. I'm going to use farfalle, which is these bow tie pastas, because it's what I love. You can feel free to use any pasta that you want. I'm also going to go ahead and throw my chicken back in here and let that go. And I'm going to throw in some frozen broccoli in here. And I'm going to let that simmer away for about 10 minutes or so altogether. And then I'll come back and show you guys what my finishing touches are and throw everything together. And oh my gosh, you guys, it's going to be so good. Okay guys, so here is what it looks like when everything is all said and done. I took a bunch of baby spinach that I had in a container in the fridge. I didn't want it to go bad, so I just threw a whole bunch of that in there, along with the frozen broccoli. Right now it looks a little green, but I promise you it will not taste green. Now normally what I would do is I would go ahead and add the pasta, and then I would add some Parmesan cheese to kind of finish it off, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to add the Parmesan cheese to each individual bowl. Like I said before, my husband has a little bit of a sensitivity to dairy, so since there's already milk in here, I don't want to get crazy and add Parmesan cheese to this, but I will add the Parmesan cheese to whoever. I'm definitely going to add it to my plate. So I'm going to come back and show you guys what this looks like once the pasta is in there. Yummy. I've already tasted this, you guys. This is amazing. Oh, and the finishing touches, like I said, even beyond the vegetables, I did put another tablespoon of butter. I never said this was going to be a light dish. This is definitely comfort food for sure. Just throw in a lot of veggies like I do to make yourself feel better about it. But I did add another tablespoon of butter after the sauce finished, after I simmered the sauce for a little while. And then I went ahead and added my spinach in, and I also added about a 1/4 cup more of chicken stock, because after I added all the veggies, I realized that there was not enough sauce and it just got really thick as it simmered. So I did add another 1/4 to a 1/2 cup of chicken stock. You kind of be the eyeball in that area if your sauce is getting a little too thick. One thing I love about these recipes when I make them is just they're so forgiving. See, one thing I love about cooking versus baking is that baking, you guys, all the measuring and like perfection, and like baking is like a science, right? I can't do that. Like, I like to be able to taste my food as I go. Add a little bit of extra salt there, a little bit of garlic powder here, move it right along if I need to. If I need to fix something or adjust something, I can. So I love forgiving recipes, and this recipe is very forgiving. Just take it easy on the salt in the beginning, especially because remember, I use salted butter. It's just what I like to use. So because I use salted butter, I make sure that I take it easy on the salt in every other part of the recipe. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna finish this off, and then I'm gonna come back and show you what it looks like at the end. So here it is, you guys. Here is the finished product. You can see it's super creamy and delicious. All those veggies running through. Let me show you the creaminess. Look at that. Oh, so good, you guys. Lots of spinach and everything running all through there. So good. So I really hope you guys give this a try. Let me know if you do and if you like it down in the comments below. be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this cooking with me segment, and I'll be sure to keep them coming. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We are filming a video a day for Vlogtober, so make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss anything that we're putting out. We love you guys, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye.